Well, if this isn't nightmare fuel, I don't know what is. So, anyway, once in a while, I work on vintage toys and electronics and try to get them working from my childhood. And Teddy Ruxpin was one of those things. It's an animatronic bear. Between him and the Chuck E. Cheese robots, this is where Nightmare Freddy came from. As you can see, he's definitely in his nightmare mode. His face lying in shambles off to the side is horrifying, really, if you think about it. So anyway, this guy had a lot of problems. I had to replace the tape deck with one I got on eBay. But another problem he had where the servos were locked up. And in that case, there's some very helpful movies on just taking those servos out and kind of forcing the rubber part here to move back and forth. And that, sure enough, got him moving again after 30 years, 30 some odd years since the last time he's been used. So that was cool. But then I ran into a problem where it still wasn't really moving well. He would twitch once in a while, but it wasn't working well. So as I looked into it, it's kind of a bad design in my opinion. When this rubber was new, I'm sure it worked fine. But what happens over time is that rubber gets hard and smooths out and doesn't have as much grip. Well, that made it so these pieces don't move well anymore because it's just a smooth plastic. It's relying on friction between this plastic and the rubber wheel. After time, that doesn't work as well. And there's also another problem where there's a spring right there. If you look at that, there's a spring that's kind of supposed to push it up against there, and those get loose over time as well. So anyway, my first thought to fix it was to use this foam double-sided tape. That did not work very well. Well, it worked fine actually on the mouthpieces, but the problem is on this piece, the eyepiece, if you look just right underneath the eye, see how there's not much clearance there between the roller and the eye movement? So what happened was the tape would just get pushed out when the eye rotated enough. So what I ended up doing instead, and this worked so well in the eye, I replaced the tape on the mouthpieces with it, is I got this silicone gasket material. I actually originally got it to do processor delidding and to put the heat spreader back on, but it seems to work really well on Teddy. I'm really hoping there's not a chemical reaction that is going to bite me in the butt on this eventually. But so far, I've done his lower jaw and the eye, and it works really well. If you look at here, see that? A lot more friction between the two, but it can still slide past, which is how it's designed to work. It's not designed to move in exact sync with the servo. Sometimes the servo overspins to correct for where the jaw might be because it has no idea where the jaw is. It's very old tech, folks. Give it a break. So anyway, yeah, so it worked really well. So I'm doing that on all the rest. I just wanted to make this quick video. I'm by no means an expert, but I just could not find any information about how to fix this specific issue in any of the forums I was reading. So if I missed something, please point me there. And if there's a better solution, I'd love to see it. But I was just hoping that if anyone was trying to restore one of these, this might help them because I had just not seen this out there. To apply it, I'm not going to get too much into it. This is drying right now, so I don't want to mess too much up with it. But I just used like a microfiber, almost like a Q-tip type thing. Obviously it's not cotton though. And then just painted it on there. Just did a very small layer, as thin as I could get it really. Although if the gap is bigger, you may want to put on a couple layers, but do a small layer at a time. The other advantage I saw of this technique is if this malfunctions in the future, or if there's a better way to do it, I did find it peels off really well in a single piece. So again, I'm not too worried about using this because if it really backfires, I can take it off. I've already proven that on the eyes. It ended up being too thick, so I took off that thicker layer that I did and reapplied it thinner, and it worked great. So as a quick note, I mistakenly said on the eyes that I put it on both sides. I did not. The eyes were tight enough that I only put it on the roller, actually. Also, again, the eyes have that special situation where they can have a problem with how low that clearance is between the plastic part of the eye and the servo roller there, rubber roller. And just to confirm, it is on both sides though, on the mouthpieces. That was the only way I could get enough contact for it to work correctly. So here he is after doing the silicone gasket repair, and as you can see, he's moving pretty well for a 30-year-old toy. Sometimes the eyes get a little bit probably lower massed, so to speak, than I would prefer, but I don't know how much of that is an older tape and older servos and stuff compared to just not having the correct friction that this is supposed to fix. So here you go. Here's the proof that it works pretty well. You can see that in action. If you look at that right there. All right. Anyway, thanks for watching, and again, let me know if there's a better technique there, or if there's a forum post I missed with some better stuff out there. But for those of you that are stuck on this same problem like I was, I hope this is helpful. Thanks.